Hi everyone, welcome back to the Movie Reviewers 100. My name is Scott, also known as Cineram, and I do the reviews on Thursdays here on this channel. This week our theme is Russell Crowe, which I'm here to close out. Unfortunately, due to an unforeseeable mishap involving baby elephants and an overturned truck of caramel popcorn, Dino and Ray were not able to post reviews. However, they have promised to do makeup reviews of Russell Crowe movies in the coming week when our theme is Denzel Washington. Also, Bree has been absent, but I'm told she will be returning as well. And of course, you can expect to see Denzel Washington reviews from both Al and myself. But for right now, I'm just finishing up the Russell Crowe week. And the movie I'd like to talk about is, of course, The Insider, which came out in 1999 and was the film that Russell Crowe made right before Gladiator, which, of course, is his big breakthrough as a star. In this movie, he plays a person named Dr. Jeffrey Wigand, a real person, which is all based on a true story here, which is set around 1994, I believe. Dr. Wigand was an executive for various health companies and other places around the world before he got hired by Brown and Williamson in their corporate offices in Louisville, Kentucky. His job there was research as a scientist, and during the course of his job he was privy to a lot of information about how cigarettes are made and the kind of techniques that they use chemically in order to get people to want to smoke more cigarettes. He was vocal about a new additive that they were using that he felt was a little bit too detrimental to people's health who are already smoking cigarettes. He was told to mind his own business. He wouldn't, and so they dismissed him. He was given a severance package and health benefits and all that kind of stuff, so he was still able to support his family and look for new work. But he was clearly not happy about the circumstances. And when he comes across a television producer named Lowell Bergman, who's played by Al Pacino, Bergman realizes that Wigand knows a lot of insider stuff about the tobacco company and the tobacco industry, and so he wants him to give them information that they can use on an upcoming program. 60 Minutes is the show which was hosted by Mike Wallace. He was sort of the key interviewer there, a veteran of TV news, and the most respected journalist in his field. 60 Minutes is, the most profitable show on the network at the time. It's a very, very well-respected news program. So the problem here is that Wigand had a confidentiality agreement which he signed and didn't plan on breaking until the tobacco company executives invited him back into the office and said, "We want to expand on your confidentiality agreement. We want you to sign it. If not, we'll cut off benefits to your family." In the meantime, he is being followed by mysterious guys and he gets anonymous threats, and he really doesn't want to have anything to do with these people anymore, so he's very, very tempted to break his confidentiality agreement and go on an interview on 60 Minutes. Of course, the downside being that if he does this, then his family could be threatened, or at the very least lose their medical coverage and other benefits. So he doesn't want to do that. But eventually he does agree to go on TV, and he tapes the interview with Mike Wallace. At which point Brown and Williamson turn their attention towards 60 Minutes and CBS itself. CBS is the network that 60 Minutes aired on. And they're all ready to go. They really like the segment on the show and they're ready to broadcast it, but then the general counsel, the head lawyer for CBS, strolls into the office and says, "Guess what, guys, we're not going to be able to air the Wigand interview because if we're found to be liable, if we are found to be coercing Jeffrey Wigand and breaking his confidentiality agreement with Brown and Williamson can sue us for billions of dollars and could end up owning this network, and thus a lot of people could lose their jobs and it would just be a nightmare, it would be a disaster." So they're telling Mike Wallace and Lowell Bergman and the guys responsible for running the show not to air the segment. And of course, this is a big problem for Jeffrey Wigand because this was the whole reason why he did this in the first place. It's a big mess. It's a real big mess. And one of my favorite scenes in the movie is where Pacino, as the producer of the television show, tells some of the corporate executives, oh, guess what? I found out that Brown and Williamson is scheduled to be sold to another company, and if we're being sued by Brown and Williamson, that could screw up the sale. Oh, and I see right here that our general counsel and this other top executive stand to make a couple $1 million from this sale. So they obviously wanted to go through. And one of the other executives is like, are you saying that the two of them are influenced by money? And Pacino goes, no, they're not influenced by money. They work for free, right? No. Yeah, Pacino is a guy who I occasionally don't like in movies because he's a little over the top, especially in Heat, which is the movie that he made with Michael Mann right before this. Oh, I might have not mentioned that. Michael Mann is the director of this movie. He made this in between Heat in '95 and Collateral in 2004. I don't think there's another movie in there, but yeah, in Heat he was terrible. He was just way, 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 way over the top. But in this movie he's fairly restrained. He gets the opportunity to do the standard Pacino shouting and exclamatory stuff, which is good. He's good in this movie. But I like Russell Crowe especially. He was nominated for Best Actor this year. The movie was nominated for Best Picture and Best Director. And as much as I like American Beauty, I was kind of hoping that Michael Mann would have won for Best Director that year because he was doing something very interesting visually with the film. This was sort of a transition movie for him visually. He would shoot with anamorphic lenses on pretty much anything that he had done up to this point. Heat and Last of the Mohicans were done with anamorphic lenses. But in 2004, when he did Collateral, he switched over to digital, and his movies have looked worse and worse ever since then. Now, Heat I don't think is shot digitally, because it came out in '99, and a year later Dancer in the Dark came out, which was also shot digitally, and it doesn't look nearly as good as The Insider. So I think that The Insider was shot on film, but in a different format, because instead of using the standard lenses, he uses wide-angle lenses, and he really pushes the lens in on people's faces and on their hands and the back of their head and what have you. And you use a lot of zoom lens to just shoot people's eyes and mouths and hands and things like that. It's a really eclectic-looking film. A lot of handheld and some well-placed slow motion and out-of-focus shots and what have you. I like his visual style on this movie, and I was kind of hoping that he could take Best Director that year. But Sam Mendes won for American Beauty, as well as Kevin Spacey, and American Beauty for Best Picture as well. Now, as for Russell Crowe, he's excellent in this movie. Really, really good. He's a sort of socially awkward guy. He's overweight, he's got white hair, and he's just generally kind of uncomfortable looking in his skin. He is married, he's got a couple of daughters, but his marriage is not ideal. I'm sure his wife doesn't find him quite as exciting as other men, and he just has a tendency to kind of fidget a bit and look kind of uncertain about what he's doing most of the time, and occasionally does get angry and really give it to people, but for the most part he's very restrained and sort of understated, and I like this performance by him quite a lot. So that would be my Russell Crowe recommendation, The Insider. Very, very good film, and of course starting tomorrow we're doing our Denzel Washington theme week, so expect to see reviews from at least 4, if not 5 or more of us, so that would be great. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye.